and gentlemen, I hope you're all doing well. My name's Amanda, I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator, and you can find my blog and my shop at scrimpingmommy.co.uk. I'm coming to show you this card today that I made. It's quite pretty and it's for a challenge, and the idea of the challenge, which is hosted by my friend who is Cotswold Crafter. If you type that into your Google search bar, you'll come up with her blog. And the challenge was to use scoring as part of decoration. So don't know if you can see, but I have used the scoreboard here to create a patterned background to my card. So I'm going to show you how I made it. So my stamping layer, which is the top layer here, is 5 inches by 5 inch square. So I'm going to put it on my scoreboard, and I'm going to have the point to 3.5 inches there and 3.5 inches there, and then I've got it kind of square. Okay, I'm just going to put it slightly at an angle because it's just easier for me. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to score at 3.5 inches there all the way down to the bottom, and then I'm going to score at 4, then I'm going to score at 4.5, so it's just every half an inch. Then I'm going to score at 5, 5.5, 6 and 6.5. Okay, then I'm going to turn it and I'm going to point it back at the 3.5 mark, and 3.5 there, and I'm going to score again at every half an inch all the way across, but finishing at this half line here. Okay, so we would if I start from this side, it'll just be easier. So if I start at 6.5, finish there, 6, and then just finish at that line there, 5.5, 5, 4.5. So I'm working backwards just because it's easier to hold. If you want to do it that way, you can. You're just scoring again at every half an inch and finishing at this line here. So 3.5, 3. Okay, and it just gives you a bit of a fancy background. There's loads of different ways you can do it. You know, it's a quick alternative to using an embossing folder. You can get a bit of a different look. Yeah, you could come up with all sorts of different combinations, really. So there we go. So I've just got that bit of a patterned look on half of my card. So I can put that away. And I'm going to start stamping. Now I'm having my card that way. I've also pre-cut this from the Layering Ovals die set, which is here. And you get lots and lots of those. Some are scalloped, some are not. And this item, all the items I'm using today are carrying over. So don't worry, if you want to purchase them, they are available for the next 12 months. The stamp set that I'm using is Awesomely Artistic. Again, this is going to carry over, so we don't need to worry. It's not in the retirements list. So panic over. So I've cut my oval here, and just get my ruler, it'll tell you which size I used. That's 3.5 inches. Now I'm not going to do it exactly the same as my sample because I hand coloured all that, and on a video that takes ages. So I'm just going to go in and I'm just going to use the one colour, which is Sweet Sugar Plum. So I'm going to ink up my... I can never remember which way around this stamp goes. Don't really think it matters. So I'm just going to ink up the big floral pattern. It's beautiful, beautiful pattern. If you don't have this set, it's a lovely one to add to your collection. So again, I'm just going to stamp about there. Doesn't matter if it's not perfectly straight because it's a busy stamp. There you go, lovely. Can move that out of the way. Now what I am going to also do is just use my little finger dauber here, and I'm just going to ink the edge. I've just got these in, I've been playing with them, they're awesome fun. Just a little bit easier to handle than sponges, and a bit more of a, oh, let me just pick that up, bit more of a, you know, a more immediate, you've just got better control, that's what I'm trying to say. So I'm just gently inking that. You can be more precise with the daubers, that's what I'm trying to say. So I'm just gently inking that. Talk amongst yourselves, sorry. Right, so that can be put to one side and that can be put to one side. I'm going to concentrate on the background of my card whilst that dries. And I'm going to use the dragonfly and the like little bobbly bits. These, it's like a splatter, not bobbly, it's a splatter. Again, from Awesomely Artistic. And I'm going to use Smoky Slate, which is a lovely, lovely colour, nice and subtle, and I'm going to do Stampin' Off. I'm not going to have it the full, oops, stay on there. I'm not going to have it the full darkness. I'm going to stamp and then stamp off. So I'm just going to, quite randomly, just have some round and about, just as a bit of a background. We'll have one going that way. Just very subtle, I don't want it too strong. One there, like that, that'll do for me. And then we've got the splatter, put it on that block. And again, I'm going to do it subtle, so I'm going to stamp off. I'll have it that way. And just do some round and about. Turn it around, up there. Have some up here, have some up there. As I say, I'm just stamping and then stamping off, just to give a bit of a background like that. Very, very subtle. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come back in with my little ink dauber and just very gently ink that edge. I'm just dabbing off because I really want it very subtle, I don't want it too dark. There we go. They are quite fun, these. I'll have to get a little box to put them all in and label them all and have it all organised, which is not really my strong point, but I'm getting there, I'm learning. Beautiful, beautiful stamp set. I absolutely love it. So, I'm going to now mount this on some dimensionals. In fact, no, I'm not. I'm going to layer this on my bases first so that I've got a easier surface to work with. I'm just using fast views. I'm going to mount that on my card base here. So this is, the stamping layer is 5 by 5, so this is 5 1/4 by 5 1/4, and then we're layering it on a card which is going to be 5 1/2 by 5 1/2. Started life out at 11 inches by 5 1/2, and then I scored it at 5 1/2. Okay, I'll just turn it that way. So layer that up nice and carefully. There we go. And what I'm going to just do while I'm here is I'm just going to stamp the inside with a dragonfly as well. It's just nice to have that bit of interest on the inside. Stamp off and then stamp. There we go. That's cute, isn't it? Okay. Now I'm just going to use a scrap piece and I'm just going to blot that so that it doesn't imprint on the inside, just to check it doesn't imprint on the inside of my card. That's dry. And we'll put this up on dimensionals. Quite organised today, I'm not doing too bad. 3, 4, I think, maybe. It's quite a big shape. So, yeah, I'll put 5. I'll be generous. Peel those off. It does look better coloured in, I will say. But as I say, for videos, you know, sitting there colouring in for 20 minutes isn't the most exciting thing to watch. Hence, I'm just leaving it as is. But my sample's there, and as you can see, I've used watercolour pencils, and then I've used an aqua painter to just blend it. Just makes it a brighter, more vivid effect. But that's fine as it is. And now I'm going to do my sentiment. So I've got a strip here, which is an offcut from there, which is 1 inch. I think it's 1 inch. Yeah, it's 1 inch. I haven't cut the width yet because I'll cut it to fit my card in a minute by eye. Not measured it. So I'm going to use this one here, and then I'm going to print friend in. Get a scrap piece of white cardstock. And again, I'm using the... Shall I go for the... No, I will. I'll use the nice subtle grey tones today. I'll have it nice and soft. So I'm just inking that up. I'm going to stamp it there on this little scrap piece. And then I'm going to get the sentiment, which is friend. I'll just show you again. It's this one. Get that nice and inked. Make sure, I'll just pre-stamp it to make sure it's kind of straight. And then just stamp that in the centre of there as straight as I can get it. That's not too bad. I'll close that, I don't need that now. Move that over. I was just seeing if you could see, I've got my dressing gown on, so I was just seeing if you could see it then when I reached over, because I'm ever so cold. It's freezing today in Yorkshire, it's not very warm at all. So I have my dressing gown on, I don't know what you call it in America, house coat. Oh dear. Yeah, it's a bit chilly. That's Easter weather for you, isn't it? It's always quite chilly at Easter. But not to worry. Right, so I'm just fussy cutting this out because there isn't a matching die for this. But, you know, you can always just get some little scissors. You don't have to have dies for everything. You can manage, and if you get used to cutting out, you get really nice results if you just do it carefully. I don't have the Stampin' Up paper snips yet. In fact, I need to order them. I keep meaning to, and I keep forgetting. In fact, I just need to just ink that. So I use embroidery scissors because they're lovely and sharp. So it's an alternative until perhaps you buy the Stampin' Up ones, which I am, rest assured, I have been told time and time again that they are awesome. And lovely and sharp and nice and pointy. I'm just inking that, just gently. There we go, that'll do. Oh, I'm just going to put that, let me just gauge how much. Put it about there, I reckon. About there. I'm just doing it completely by eye. Let me just guess. In fact, I'll measure. I'll be good and I'll measure. What have I got between there and there? Let's have a look. I'll be good and I'll measure it so that it's nice and precise. Let me just make a little mark with my paper pieces so I know where I'm cutting. Okay, so it's about there. I'm not too worried. And what I'm going to do then is I'm just going to use my 1/2 inch circle punch and I'm just going to nip the corners off. It just adds a bit of interest. Like that. It's just something a bit different, isn't it? I think it looks cute. It looks like a ticket. You know. There we go. There we go, yeah. Bit of a ticket shape. So I'll just put a light coating of ink around the edge of that. And we're nearly done. Nearly done. So I'm going to attach that. I'm just going to use, ooh, get off, fast fuse. I'm going to try and centralise it. That friend, where I've stamped that friend, isn't massively straight, I don't think. I think I could have tried a bit harder there, but not to worry, you could try a bit harder when you do it. I do think we need to start harassing Stampin' Up to have something, a precision stamping tool. We all know the type. I'm not going to say the brand, but I think Stampin' Up need to get us one. So that we can get all of our stamps right every time. I'm just using 2 of these, like, I'm not quite sure what they're called in the Stampin' Up catalogue, and they may well be retiring these. They're just in my stash. They're like little enamel dots. Just to decorate there, you could use anything. And we're done. There we go, we're good to go. As I say, you can, if you colour in, you get a totally different look. So there's my sample, and there's the second one. I hope you'll enjoyed that. I hope you'll give it a try. And that is using Awesomely Artistic, which is actually really awesome and quite artistic. Thanks for watching. Bye.